partners of Solarian Games.
I'm Jason.
I'm Peter, and this week we have a guest, and we'll talk with him in just a few minutes. But the stories this week are D&D workbooks announced by Penguin Random House, exploring Eberron, Forge of the Artificer, and Analog Union freebies for the holiday. Lots of good ones on there. But we'll get to that in just a second. Jason,
Okay.
let's talk about our guest tonight.
Yes.
Today.
So our big story after we get through the news is we'll be talking with Eric, who is the owner, publisher of Cubitory, which is the publishers of the new top secret Russian edition. So this has been something that's been in the works for a while. So we will talk all about that when we get to that section with Eric.
Yeah, really excited.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
And thanks, everybody, for joining us a little bit early today. As we mentioned, we are very far time zones apart. Eric is in an undisclosed location somewhere on the other side of the world. As befits a top secret publisher, we must keep all things secure.
You know.
All right, let's get into the first story this week.
All right.
This is something that's coming out in the spring, but you can pre-order them on Amazon right now. They are the Dungeons and Dragons workbook. So there's the player workbook and the Dungeon Masters workbook. They are actually published by Random House, which is different than coming out through Wizards. And a little bit of an interesting history there, because Random House has been publishing Dungeons and Dragons and fiction books since the days of TSR. In fact, one of the reasons that TSR kind of got into the financial trouble they did is because Random House would give them advances by paying them for all the books that they printed. And then they would, it'd be like a loan, and then they would have to pay back the money afterwards if not all the stuff sold. And TSR got a little bit crazy back in the day and printed more than they knew they would be able to sell, putting themselves into increasing debt and eventually having to be saved by Wizards. So it's neat, I guess, in a way, to see that Random House still has a relationship with Wizards, although I'm sure it's a much smarter one this time around.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully.
We hope so. But this is interesting. It's a neat idea. I don't think I've heard of somebody talk about this idea before, which is always surprising. You'd think every idea under the sun has been pitched out there. But these are not rule books for D&D. They're workbooks. So there's going to be two of them coming out. And essentially, they're calling them interactive companions to the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook. The first one is the Player's Workbook of Epic Adventures. These are both, by the way, they're both 176 pages, and they're a soft cover format, 7x9. So not the big 8.5 by 11 you get the books, but more like a trade paperback size or a large trade paperback. And so what you get in the Player's Workbook, 176 pages designed to help both new and experienced players create characters, develop backstories, understand game basics, and connect to a larger campaign world. And so there's like exercises and prompts and stuff that you can do. Or you actually go through and do some exercises like choosing a class and your origin, crafting your backstory, developing connections, integrating your character, planning for new features during level advancement. Essentially a chance to try it all out in the safety of a workbook, which is very cool.
Very cool.
And then
I like this. I like the size though, because that 7x9 makes it very easy for you to carry with you. I mean, like super easy.
I was surprised. I thought, when you think about workbooks from school, they would always be the big things you'd write in.
Right.
And then the other one, the Dungeon Master's Workbook of World Building, again, same size, same page count. This one's all about creating a campaign setting, learning how to improvise, role-playing, crafting unique rewards and magic items, adventure hooks, and even developing maps, whether it's for your table or for VTTs. So really fun, cool things, and they're written by Andrew Wheeler. He's English, now currently based in Toronto. He has contributed to a bunch of different D&D books, including co-writing the Young Adventurer's Guides and authoring the cocktail recipe book, Puncheons and Flagons. So He's a Schuster and Eisner Award-winning creator. Created things such as Another Castle, Love and War, and the anthology Shout Out. So yeah, these are going to be, and they're going to be relatively affordable. There'll be $25 each.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, for something that size, yeah, every prices go up. It's a good price.
Right.
It sounds like a really fun thing to get somebody who is just kind of getting into playing or DMing and wants to feel more confident and wants to try some of the things out ahead of time.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do we know what will be inside those books?
I tried to find out. I mean, other than the details about the kind of things, I haven't seen any pictures of the insides yet.
Okay, I'm asking because the Eberron is pretty much, it's about Eberron, right? Or it's just some...
No, these are generally about, we are going to talk about Eberron as well, but these are about yeah, it's a good question. These are all D&D.
All right, so I'm asking because, I've seen some generic ones, workbooks, with all of the empty fields, basically. Just here you can write about your setting, here you can draw some maps, and it's a empty hex map, and here are some place for character sheets where you can design something like character sheet and etc. So the question is, how generic would be this workbook, and do you really need specifically specific D&D workbook?
Oh, that's
any generic one.
I haven't seen the other workbooks that you're talking about. I'd love to see those.
Well, I can send after the show. And the additional question is, why would a player buy a workbook for him? What is the point for the player?
Yeah.
Why would you be interested in this?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think these are the kind of things that new players it help them feel more confident, because if you've never played D&D or you've only played it a little bit, it can be daunting, all the different stuff. And if the first time you encounter things like creating your character or world building is when you're at the table with other people, I think for some folks that's intimidating. So being able to sit down with a workbook by yourself and actually try it out first seems like a more confidence building way to get into it.
It also might be handy.
I
was gonna say it might be handy for somebody like me who's I played AD&D was my big one that I played, and I haven't really played much D&D since then. I've tried some of them a couple of times, but like if I were starting a D&D 5th edition campaign right now, and somebody said, hey, make up a character and join our campaign, I might need a little bit of hand holding because I haven't done this in forever. So maybe something like that would be kind of handy. I think it helps walk you through the process, though. I think that's what they're saying.
And
I hope. I mean, we haven't seen it. We don't know.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see what is inside once they reveal it. So yeah, my guess is that you played, the original editions, maybe the first, second one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, my question is, do you think that the older editions were more suitable for new players, more newbie friendly, or now the game is much better for the newbies?
I think it depends which one you're talking about, because if you're talking about the old basic set, the boxed set,
basic set, basic expert
those
set,
were really newbie friendly, especially the one that Frank Mentzer made.
Okay.
But if you're talking about the advanced books, not at all.
No. Yeah, I was talking about AD&D, man. There's no hand holding there.
I mean, we were saying before on one of our shows
by fire
about what it was like when we were kids and started playing, that at least in my case, we played the game wrong for several months.
Oh, how can you play the game wrong? What do you mean?
Well, we got we misunderstood most of the rules. We were mixing up one book with another, and
with AD&D, it's not a big problem. It's really easy to mess up everything.
Yeah,
because
it's fine.
It is messed up with itself.
Yeah, we used to we would ignore some of the intricacies. Like, for example, we never liked the level max for any race, so we just ignored that. We also let's see, what was a couple of things like weapon proficiencies. We didn't do anything with that. There's a couple things that we just completely never did. Matter of fact, we didn't do them for so long that when somebody reminded me that they existed, I was like, oh, that's right, there was a rule in the game. It's like we never used it.
It's interesting with all the 5e things. There have been so many more years to mature and figure out how to make a book that's easy for people to follow. And I think Wizards has done a good job of trying to remember that people need a lot of hand holding, that it's a set of rules. And the first edition was, to me, it has a place in my heart because I love how complex it is. I love that it's this chaotic look into one kind of mad genius's brain, but it's not easy for people to play as a game. Whereas now, maybe it's lost some of that charm, but a new player can actually play the game.
Right. Yep.
Good.
All right.
Let's move on to the Eberron.
Eberron. All right. So exploring Eberron, Forge the Artificer. Eberron. Now we've actually held on to this story for a couple of weeks. Everything keeps jumping ahead of it. So this story is just a tiny bit old, but still kind of new. Is a rules expansion and compendium for Eberron. And it says Rising from the Last War. I don't know what that is. Released on December 9th, 2025. It updates the Artificer class, which I think is your favorite, isn't it, Jason?
I do. In 5th edition, Artificer is my favorite.
Right. And other Eberron specific content to align with the 2024 core rules.
Or cool rules.
Core rules. Yeah, sure. The source book was developed with Keith Baker and offers extensive new material for players and dungeon masters for the game. Now, for the players, you have, of course, the revised Artificer class, which has a complete redesign of the class. And then it has 5 subclasses. So you got the Alchemist, the Armorer, Artillerist, the Battlesmith, and the new Cartographer. That's kind of interesting. That's interesting.
Cartographer sounds actually really cool.
Yeah. I could see playing like it's like you going through your equipment. People are like, well, I got the 10-foot pole and I got this and I got that. It's like, well, I got lots of parchment and chalk and I got some string that's got like notches on it for or knots on it for distances. But anyway, there's new backgrounds and feats. 14 of which are tied to dragon marks. Do you know what dragon marks are? I don't know what dragon marks are.
No, I was about to say what I think they are. When you have like a hunter's mark where you mark the creature that you're attacking for bonuses. I don't know if it's the same thing.
It's some type of like a background stuff. If I remember correctly, you pick some of those dragon marks on the character creation.
Okay.
Like a background. So
okay.
All right. And then there's new spells and items, new magic items, new homunculus creatures
you create.
Yes. Servant spells. They're kind of like little golems. And updated rules for magical tinkering. So that sounds really cool. Jason, I can see why you like that class. It sounds like a lot of fun to play. I've never played one, but I would.
Eric, have you played the Artificer class?
No, actually, I think it's the only class I didn't play. I haven't yet tried in the D&D 5th edition because I stopped playing before it was released.
Right.
Think. Probably.
It's a tough class because up until now it has been kind of nerfed a little bit. It hasn't been written that well in terms of being. A lot of people don't like to play the Artificer because it just doesn't have as many things that it could do as, say, a paladin or a wizard or even a cleric. But I love the ingenuity of being able to forge things and, create things on the fly. And so if they're finally getting it to the point where it's a little bit more powered evenly, I think it's going to get a lot more people playing it. I don't care if I'm underpowered as a player because I'm not there to min-max,
Right. Yeah,
but I think a lot of people do care about that.
Do you think that this 5e system with subclasses is better than the older when you just pick a class and kind of tweak it for many different kind of optional stuff? Because I think it's a question of your style of play.
Right.
I think the 5e is a lot better for new, and I don't mean new like I've never played before, but people who start with 5e, I think it's a really good system for them. If you have older players that are used to having to come up with stuff on their own a little bit more and not necessarily just follow every rule, then I think it's not as good for them.
Right.
Okay.
I was
interesting.
I was going to say that one of the reasons why I don't really like the D20 system so much is that it's so structured in that, you do this, then you do that. And these, you pick a class and then that's it. You're that class and that's everything, that's what you are. and you're basically your whole character's life is spelled ahead of you as to how you're going to react with the world, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally like to have more flexibility in my characters. I don't like being, assigned at the beginning of my character what my character is going to be. Like 6 adventures down the road, I might like start leaning another direction or whatever. I'd just like to be able to go where the character takes me, where the game takes me. But so I don't know. I think it's like Jason said, it's your preference. It's whatever you like. And sometimes it's kind of refreshing and easy to just sit down and go, I don't have to think a million thoughts about my character. Put my character together, play the game, and have fun.
Yeah, for sure. It would be interesting to see what would they do with the cartographer, because I think you will agree that D&D is 5e pretty much every D&D basically. It's pretty much very combat oriented, and with a lot of 5e stuff, we see that basically all of the abilities, or 90% of them, are combat oriented. And it would be interesting to see if there are map-based combat, or it's like more fluff class, subclass.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Like, what would you actually do in a combat-based game where it's all about creativity and map making?
Right. I'm going to hit him with my map. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, maybe you can create it if you play with the map. Maybe there are some interesting mechanics, like you can draw a piece of terrain or remove or move parts of the terrain. It will be great to see, because it will be very groundbreaking game design for the class.
If you could have a magical map where if you change the terrain on the map, it changes it. Yeah.
Could you imagine? Like, it'd be really cool if we had a door here. Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
We'll just use cartoon physics.
That would be a cool character to play, honestly.
Yeah, it would be nice. Because lately I was getting into Magic the Gathering more and more, and I see that their Wizards of the Coast have a lot of mechanics, a lot of experimental mechanics, and even after 30 years, they are trying to add something new, and it works. It's maybe not every time, but it works, and they are brave enough to do a lot of really interesting manipulational stuff with the board, with the other player cards, etc. So it'll be really nice to see some of this game design. How we can go with basically a game designing skill, maybe in D&D. So it's not only here you have another attack with here is your bonuses, your damage. Here's a new spell that does basically the same. Maybe we can see something new. It would be really interesting.
I'm looking forward to getting this and finding out.
Well, Jason, we've talked about this before. Ever since I was in like 6th grade, I started, after 1 year of playing role-playing games, I decided I'm going to design games. So I've designed I don't know, maybe 30 games that I never released or anything as I was growing up. So all through high school, I would put a game together or whatever. And then I got out and I did some stuff that I did release that I didn't sell. It was all fan-generated stuff. So there was the Fusion system was Cyberpunk meets Champions, and it was set in the 2000s, which was the future at the time. But the superpower system was kind of weak, so I wrote a whole new superpower book that was similar, in almost probably about half as much as the hero system for superpowers. And it was it was super difficult to get that right. And then later on I did some stuff that we'll be releasing at some point in the future. I got this More Dungeons thing that I did that's a spinoff of More Blood, and I was doing the magic for that. And magic is very hard to write, to keep it, fresh, to keep it cool, to make the magic user relevant, but also not make them overpowered. I would say that in everything that I've ever tried to design, anything that deals with powers, magic, the Artificer would fit into this as well, is harder than any other part of game design, I think. I mean, it's harder than making new rule, even new innovative rules are generally easier, because the magic system, or any kind of magic or science or technology, whatever, can break things because you're giving people extra abilities and you're trying to give them a lot of range, but then giving them extra abilities, is that too much? Is it too little? Is it, what I mean? So I got to give them credit. If they pull this if they pull off the Artificer really well and give people, a really good, robust character to play without it being overpowered, my hat's off to them.
Very
We'll
cool.
see what's going to happen. Yeah, I just want to add a little about the superhero games. We've tried to run some superhero games, and they are either very complicated with a lot of, very nuanced hero powers that you should buy for a lot of points. And it's basically character creation without calculator is impossible. Or it's just more very rule slide games, and basically you do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Just roll the dice.
Right. Yep. All right, and just real quick to wrap up, there's also, we didn't talk about the Dungeon Masters at all, but there's campaign models. There's 3 genre-based campaign frameworks: fantasy noir, political thriller, and pulp adventure with inspiration and conflict suggestions. There are vehicle rules, which is cool. I mean, for D&D, vehicle rules. I mean, normally you think of cart, but these
I was going to say a donkey dragging a cart on a big chase.
Right. Maneuvering and engaging in combat with elemental airships and other vehicles, including carts for travel, conditions, and encounters. So that's cool.
And
Bastion,
is this out now? Or is it coming soon? I'm stumping you.
Don't remember.
All right, we'll find out.
We'll find out. And then there's more stuff. There's bastions and there's a bestiary, of course, because you have to have new monsters, and you always have new monsters. So anyway, so it looks cool.
Well, I see a robot dog in the artwork. So
yeah, and a robot on the floor.
Yeah. So I mean, K9, let's get your Doctor Who adventures going here.
Yeah. Oh, there's another little robot. You see that little guy up there in the
yeah,
look at that.
Automaton, I'm sure.
Yeah, Sorry, automatons, not robots. All right. Let's go to the next one.
All right. So our last story before we get to the Russian top secret, just some freebies for everybody. So as folks may know, we are in a thing called the Analog Union, which is 9 different indie game companies, and we send out a newsletter for free every week, just talking about what's going on, maybe some of the stuff we're putting out, things that are neat, things that are fun. And we decided for the Christmas newsletter, we would just send everybody some gifts. So up on the screen right now, what you see is some of the members of the Analog Union. We really happy with this. So our artist Attila drew everybody as superheroes, and we've been making trading cards out of those. Maybe we'll make some real ones at some point.
That'd be cool.
Peter, you're in there as the
kind of like the Thing, sort of, but more like just call me the Brick or the
the Brick.
The Brick.
And Brian Larkin went with something kind of similar. He wanted the Swamp Thing. So you two are the monochromatic weirdos.
Yeah.
And we've got Brian Sutter in there as sort of a low rent Terminator kind of thing going on. And then John McGuire as a Doc Ock type, Justin Soroy's doing his Wolverine thing. Kevin Borup, you can see in his photo where he is sort of a Doctor Strange with an exploding box. The photo that he gave the illustrator actually looked like that. He already had a photo of himself with an exploding box and soot all over his face. So awesome. That was perfect. Joey Royale Mysterio, because he already had the mask on. And, I had to go with somebody with some sort of superhero that could have a beer. So I've got my kind of John Constantine look going on up there.
Very cool.
So, yeah, here's some gifts that we gave away for free. And if you subscribe to the Analog Union newsletter, you've already got these in your email. So you can go and just grab them for free. What we do is a few days after the newsletter goes out on the analogunion.com website, we do put up the full newsletter. So if you go right now to analogunion.com, go to scroll down to see the past newsletters, you'll be able to get all these for free right now. So some freebies. So first of all, we have a brand new member of the Analog Union. And so he's started out with his own freebie here. This is called Netcrawl. And oops, let me just get this up here. So Netcrawl, this is by James Posnell. And as I said, he's the new member. Netcrawl, the full Netcrawl is coming out soon, but he's decided to give away the version 0.3, the beta. So this earlier version is actually for DCC. So if you want to play a cool cyberpunk game and you use old school rules or Dungeon Crawl Classics, this right here completely that built for that. So you can play right now if you got DCC. So that one's free. Get yourself some cyberpunk fun that way. What do we have next? What was our next? Oh,
Battle of the Bog Beast.
Battle of the Bog Beast. So this is from Joey Royale from Get Haunted Industries. This is a little trifold zine. Battle of the Bog Beast. This one's free as well, of course. For generations, rumors have brewed about a massive creature shambling through the wild surrounding Fairhaven Quarry. There's essentially Fairhaven is WHPA, Weird Heroes of Public Access. That's his game, and it's all based around the fictional town of Fairhaven. It's sort of a town that's come right out of the 1980s tabloids. So if you know, like the Inquirer and those kind of things. So whatever happened in those can happen in real life, in real game. In this one, you are exploring the legend of the Bog Beast. You've got to also deal with a couple of infamous witch sisters of Skunk Bog, Vera and Agnes. And I'll just read a little bit of this. So in the past 2 months, 3 bikers have been found dead near the quarry. The official explanation of bobcat attacks has done nothing to ease local fears. The condition of the bodies strains credibility, and people are talking and whispering about the Bog Beast. So as the Bog Beast roams the swamps, you, with your limited skills as a public television host, have to go out and find the Bog Beast and deal with them. So that's a lot of fun right there.
Yeah,
Very
fun.
cool. And Joey's stuff is always so good. It's always so good.
Okay, so Eric, I don't know if the idea of things like tabloid newspapers make sense. These newspapers that everybody knows they're fake, but they kind of go along with it. It's fun to pretend they're real. Is there something like that in Russia?
Yeah, sure. There's maybe not in the pretty much. Maybe currently not that much as it was in the early 2000s, but it is still pretty prevalent. And even right now, when information spreads very fast, there are some channels in Telegram. No, maybe not news outlets. Yeah, more like channels in Telegram. And then anonymous speakers that spread a lot of stuff like this.
So when so they come and a lot of this has that kind of 1980s, 1990s aesthetic of like the public television hosts.
Yeah.
Then I think about Russian TV from the 80s and the 90s. It all looked like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think everybody here knows like the Trololo guy or something,
Right.
Like that's a good aesthetic.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and let's not forget about there was a game published maybe in 1990s about Tabloid World. I don't know if you know about this game.
No.
Actually, it is very fun. I've never ran it, but I appreciate it very much. Let me just find it out.
Yeah, I'll go to
really
the next
fun RPG about the world where all tabloids are true, and every fact everything that is published in tabloids in this world is true, and you play as a journalist who investigate everything that is written in top tabloids. Like the first mission that you are assigned to, you need to drive to Milwaukee in this like a niche little supermarket where someone spotted the Elvis Presley.
Yes.
Oh, God, awesome.
So someone spotted Elvis Presley, and you need to investigate what happened. And there are some aliens are getting involved, doppelgangers. Stuff like this.
Oh, I need to find. Yeah, when you find the name of that game, let's tell people because
it's something about adventures in tabloid world. Yeah, just a moment.
Okay, well, I'll go on to the next one, and then you'll come back with that.
Pandemonium.
Oh, Pandemonium! I've heard of Pandemonium.
Oh,
yes.
And it just appeared in the chat.
Sweet.
Nice.
Thanks, Varric. All right.
Varric, shout out. I know this guy.
Oh,
he's also a Russian publisher. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Privyet. All right, so the next thing we have is, I can't pronounce this, Demons. Brian Larkin, are you in the chat? Tell us how to pronounce your thing. We're giving away for free. The Demosthenes and Domination Addendum from Arcane Sword Press. So this is a bunch of cool additions for old school rules. Anyone who knows Brian, he runs not just Arcane Sword Press, but also Arcane Con every year up in Massachusetts. Very OSR, old school based. And so these are some cool things that you can do with player characters who have gotten to the 9th level and beyond. Additional things they can do to build strongholds and create their castles and fun stuff like that. So this is, and you can use it for any fantasy game.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What do we have next? Let's see here.
Ooh.
Oh, from us. Okay. We also are giving away a game by James Carpio. And this is called Anarchy. We've got some photos there that I took carrying it around a Sleaford Mods concert. So Anarchy is a one-off, one-shot, I guess you could kind of say, set in a world of the near future after total collapse, a very kind of the end of the world that we thought we were going to get right after Reagan. That's the kind of world it is. And with giant mutant cockroaches, and there's an adventure called Let's Kill the Landlord, or Let's Lynch the Landlord, like the Dead Kennedy song. Tons of fun, quick and easy to play. So that's a free one.
And very relatable.
Yes.
Yeah, very relatable. Yeah, and
it's
a pocket book. So it's like literally you could stick it in your back pocket and play it.
Yeah, you can see how small it is there. So that's kind of fun. It was actually supposed to be a bigger book, but we screwed up the dimensions and it printed smaller. And we're like, actually, pocket books are great.
Yeah.
So we dropped the price and made it a pocket book. And now you can get it the PDF for free. And then finally, we've got two, not one, but two zines from Super Savage Systems. That's Brian Shutter. You see the sale price of $4.95 on there. That's part of the design. That's not a sticker that's on there. This is the way Brian designs everything.
That's funny.
You see some of his stuff. It'll come out looking like a Sega Genesis cartridge or whatever else. Anyways, Slop, SLOP, seriously, ludicrous, optional pages. Brian creates the Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Incredibly fun game. And here's a bunch of extras, what he says, a bit of hot sauce. So he's got things in here like the Triple Dog Surge Sludge, the Invisible Stalker Creep, 30 Hate Special Violent Round bullets that you can use. Let me see what else is in the other zine here. Come on, other zine. There you are. We've got some random Pac-Man Fever rules. Toxic Dice Riot, what's in the fridge, 12 hooks from hell. I mean, it just goes on and on. We got the Terror from Bootlegia, the Atomic Killer, the Toxic Liquor. This is I'd pay $20 for this scene, and it's free. You can download it for free at analogunion.com. And if you like that stuff, go in there and subscribe to the newsletter. Get cool things every week.
Yeah, and you could win a trip to the Big Kahuna Island.
Yes, that will not really winning a trip.
No, I don't think Big Kahuna Island's real. Is it?
I don't think so, but I wish we had put a picture of this up. I forgot to send it to you. One of my favorite things in here is a weapon that it looks like the layout for it looks like a Blockbuster membership card. Mm-hmm. The weapon is called the Block Duster. It's an anti-personnel shotgun, which is illegal, and punishment for having it is 6 months in the ISO cubes. But you can get one.
All right.
Yeah.
So
the naming is really cool for the game. It really suits the game.
Yeah.
Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland is a really fun game. I can recommend everyone to have a read. It is very fun.
Oh, awesome.
Try to have a play.
We'll let Brian know that it's being played in the far eastern reaches.
Wherever that might be. Anyway.
All right, let's go to the main event.
Story. So, Eric, what do we got here?
Yeah, it's just a little image from one of our latest conventions. This is 2 tables with some of our books, also books of our friend, another publisher, Hexcat. Shout out. He's in the chat right now, the Warwick. His name is Pavel. Yeah, and you can see in the right corner, maybe the image is not familiar, but one of the biggest books here is the Top Secret Russian edition.
Okay, yeah. Let's read what's on the cover of the books for the folks that are listening without video.
Yeah, it's Top Secret New World Order. And in Russian, it's совершенно секретно новый мировой порядок.
Nice.
Nice.
And we have Ikona
Yeah, it's
for
Icon. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Love it. And so in the English edition, ICON is the International Covert Operations Network. What is the name in Russian? It's actually got
Let me check. Yeah, it's something very close to this. Just let me double check because it's really easy to find out. It's something like intercontinental operative like Overwatch agency, something like this.
yes. And this is what we're going to go into some of the stuff that's in here, but just right off the bat, what I love about this is that in the lore of Top Secret, everybody who's a player, everybody's player characters work for this agency, ICON.
Mhm.
And the idea is that ICON is an international agency that's run behind the scenes. So the agents, while they may be from all these different countries, ICON doesn't belong to any one particular country.
Yeah.
So in the game world, there would absolutely be, this is what it would be called in Russia.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
So before we go into looking at some of these things, let's just kind of talk a little bit about how long this has been going on for some time. I think
Yeah,
you came
sure.
to us. I'm bad with timelines, so I won't try to guess at it. But you came to us with the concept for doing this, and you'd actually already been publishing things before as well, right?
Yeah, sure. It was for the time. It was our biggest upcoming project. So I was really eager to get something like this in for the Russian people. There were no, and still other than Top Secret, there is no currently spy espionage games like this in for Russian speaking audience. So I wanted to bring something like this. And I love Top Secret because it's a game with rich history, like 40 plus, maybe even 50 years, close to 50 years.
1980. So whatever, do the math.
Yeah. So, and there are some stories about the older editions. There was an FBI raid,
Yes.
So this is the game that has something to its name, yeah, some value, merit, and the game is really cool. So I wanted to bring something like this to another audience so that someone else can experience it, not only English speaking audience.
Yeah.
I love Eric. So when Jason told me about this to begin with, I was in love with the idea instantly because I just love the fact that it's a spy game. And then historically, you go back to the 80s and it was, US and Russia, the big giant enemies of one another, Cold War and blah, blah, blah. And of course, there's all these movies about spies, and American movies make Russians the bad guys or whatever. And I'm sure there's Russian media that makes America the bad guys, which is all good because we were to each other, right?
Of course.
But I love the fact that now that there's, the because I'm going to just say it, the spy game in the world is both has an American anchor and now a Russian anchor. I think it's perfect. I love it.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about what we see here. So this is what's kind of cool is this is a translation of the game that you can buy in English, but it's not just a straight, take exactly what it is and just put it over. You've done design of your own. You've come up with a really cool new way to do your box set. Let's kind of talk about what you're selling at this point.
So first of all, we've done another cover for the standard edition. You've seen it on the first image. I don't know if you have image with this cover, but it's not a problem. Yeah. So you can see the book with the largest book with the white letters on it.
Yeah. So for those people who are just listening, it's a very graphic, very cool kind of artistic illustration done in about 3 or 4 colors of. It looks like a secret agent kind of looking down into the side. Is he carrying a gun?
Yeah, I think he has a gun in his pocket.
Yeah.
There's also a back cover. I don't think I have an image right now, but yeah, we've also done the back cover with all the titles, so everything near the table with a lot of guys. Just there's a spy table. It's like a meeting, and where we see only their hands.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, we've done the additional artwork for the layout because
Mhm.
when you translate the game, there are some additional space. Sometimes, yeah, you can have space left out when you do the layout work, and you can
Yeah.
just yeah. So we've done a lot of, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe more images
Right, because when you
just
translate
for.
something, the thing about doing the
Mhm.
layout is that the where the text goes makes a big difference to how you're going to lay it
Yeah.
out. So if you translate it to another language and at least another alphabet, it's going to really change your layout. Oh, by the way, Roderick in the chat says that's not a gun. He's holding a
We
case.
we don't see the full cover, but I remember that maybe on some of the worker arts. Let me see.
Okay. Well, Peter, let's take a
We
look at
have the
that
idea
box
of.
set image again. Let's talk about
Okay.
what
Mhm.
let's talk about because it's a beautiful layout, it's a beautiful setup, very different. Because the English American edition has the photograph on the cover, and this one is really neat. I'll let Eric describe
Well,
the
hold on,
Yeah.
Jason. Let me,
concept.
let me make my cratology roll here. No, go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry.
All right.
So Eric,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
kind of
Eric.
describe the concept here and like what this describe it for people who
Okay.
can't
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So yeah, this is the box that has a stamp on it. The main stamp is that is the property of icon.
Mhm.
And all around the box we've done a lot of different stamps just in the game's vein, like the burn after reading, top secret,
Yep.
no, don't make a photo, everything. We got a stamp of Solarian somewhere there, stamp of our publishing house, and yeah, it's all around the box.
And it's designed to look like a wooden crate, which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
is so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, looks good. Looks really good.
And then inside the box, you got it opened up here to see some of the different things that you get when you get the box set version.
Yeah, for the guys who pre-ordered the game, we've printed the special edition cover. It's leather cover with golden lining. So yeah, I think the cover, the alternative. I really love the standard cover, but this one is gorgeous, and
Yes,
it's
gorgeous.
very cool to touch it. I love the leather, it's not the leather. How do you call it? It's linen covered books. I love it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, we've also put there two of the missions. It's the Drop and White Queen. And we are currently finishing up with the third mission, Oasis Rendezvous. I hope I pronounced it right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
close
So
enough.
yeah, great. And yeah, well, other
I'm
than
just
that,
looking at the
we
cover
are.
of the drop here. Is what
Hmm?
Peredacha? What does the cover say?
Yeah, Teredache.
Peredacha. So what is
Yeah.
Peredacha?
Yeah, it's basically it's the drop is something you put somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Peracha is more like the trade, the act of passing something to someone.
Oh,
Right.
nice,
Because
nice.
in the adventure, I don't want to spoiler, but yeah, it's not. I think it's more not about the drop, but about the trade that is going on. So this
Yes.
is
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much.
and White Queen, Bella Corleva is the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
That's really cool.
So just
Uh,
real quick in the drop, did you was there anything that you had to change that because there's always translational issues of like we would say or do thing a certain way and then it's going all the way to another country that is very
yeah,
different
yeah,
from our culture. Was there anything that you can think of off the top of your head that you like, hey,
yeah.
that won't work here,
Mhm.
we need to change it to this?
Well, in the drop, there were no really big changes.
Mhm.
I just adjusted the equipment, like we just said that this is the equipment that you may want to see in the rule book.
Mhm.
Added some explanations that were
Okay.
missing in the rule book. Yeah, so just adjustments like this, not really, not a big deal. And yeah, most of the text is left as it was, just
Yeah.
Okay.
recited.
And then in the White Queen, I'm trying to remember now off the top of my head. I know we have some Iranian Quds forces that you're dealing with.
Yeah,
Um,
but the main story in White Queen is about the Russian
Right.
agent that was fleeing the country, and the Bila Koroleva, White Queen, is chasing for him. No, she kidnapped him, and you try to find him. Yeah.
So did you change any nationalities there? Because I know that we have some.
Yeah.
We put a lot of Russian bad guys in things.
Yeah, I know. But I thought about maybe changing some of the names, because some of the names were sounding Russian, but not really Russian.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez,
Yeah.
that's on us. That's on
Cultural-
us.
But
Whoop,
yeah, I
cultural
understand.
faux pas.
But I thought in the end that it is very on point with a lot of movies,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Russian are bad guys, but their names are sounding like Russians, but not really Russian names. And I thought that
we
it
should
would
have come
be
to you
even
before we published it.
No,
Yeah.
it's fun because it is very much like the movies. It's not a problem. I didn't see it as a problem. It is a feature.
Okay, that's true. The
Because
Hollywood
everyone-
movies do the same thing. Ivan Drago.
Right.
Yeah. Ivan Drago, yes, like Foma Kinai from the Buran and stuff like this. So
Yeah.
it is fun. It kind of a little bit off, so everybody understands that it's not about the politics. It's not about the real Russian evil guys.
Yeah.
It's more of
Yeah.
like some cartoonish guys with kind of funny names. So it is
But I think
okay.
still, when you are playing as a player in Russia, you probably don't want to have all the bad guys be Russian.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost him. We'll see if we get Eric back in just a moment here.
Yeah, he can just click the link and jump. Oh, there he is. Hold on.
Okay, cool.
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
What's up, man? I don't know what happened, but you're back.
Fine. What was the question?
Oh, I was just saying that if you're a player playing the game and you're Russian and you're in Russia, you might not want all the bad guys to be Russian.
Yeah, and here you can see that those guys. First of all, as you write, even in the drop, you can
Mhm.
change all of the evil guys to be whoever you want.
Yeah.
And
I
it
wrote,
is,
I wrote it that way. I wrote it that way intentionally. I wanted it
Yeah,
to be
sure.
as open as possible, and like because I say right in there, you can swap out any of the bad actors for anyone else. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be these.
It
We
is
can
really cool.
always make the Iranians and the North Koreans the bad guys because they're never
Yeah.
going to see this.
Yeah, right.
and what I really liked about the drop, how you wrote it, that you can basically change every part you want. There's
Mhm.
one central thing going on. You can take whatever bad guys you want. You can add in different layers. You can make a campaign out of it, and
Right.
it goes the same way for the White Queen too. This is what I like about those adventures.
Cool. Yeah, it's funny because that was the approach I did on the drop. I'd never written an adventure like that. I'd never written this like super open-ended adventure that you can swap in and out anything you want just about. And I was worried because I was like, I'm doing this in a little book. I'm not, providing a whole lot of
Yeah, this is
explanation.
great.
But
And this is-
everybody seems to love it. It seems to have worked out really well.
This is how I run my games of basically any sort. When you have this situation, something is going on, you are involved somehow, but there is open end. You don't know how it should end. There is no like the plot for it. You know how you know how it can play out,
Mhm.
but there's no like cutscenes. No, like bad guys escaping in the last minute on the helicopter.
Right.
Stuff like this. So it is open ended. Players have have the mission. They need to do something. They have all of the means possible they can imagine to do their job, and it's brilliant.
Yeah,
I love it.
I've been trying to lean into that. Like we did another short one like this, another small one called Operation Ragnarok. And that one's fairly open-ended too. It's basically, it tells you everything that the bad guys are going to do and how the story will play out. If the agents do nothing, this is how the story plays out. And then it gives just little prompts. The agents can do something here. They can do something here. They can do something here. But it's not a scene for scene kind of thing. It'll play out how it plays out. And like, these are what the bad guys intend to do. The administrator knows that, and how the players interfere is how the administrator knows what to do with that. And that's honestly, that's how everybody game masters anyway. I mean, you don't, the players, because you can't predict what a player is going to do. They do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like, I'm going to fill the bathtub with water and just let it overrun. And you're like, that's not in the module. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's much better to have so many different, short, maybe 1, 2, 3 session long adventures than these big adventure books for
Oh yeah.
like years of playing when no one finishes them
No, they're
in the
too
end. So
expensive. It's nice to be, instead of spending $50 or $60 on a big bound book, it's much nicer to sell a $20 or $10 adventure and let people buy different ones.
Mhm.
And speaking of the missions, so we have a number of missions that I know I've been talking to you, Eric, about sending those over to you, because then you can have those as well for translation. So we'll be sure to send you all of those things.
Mhm.
But I'm guessing you probably have authors that are writing some new missions in Russian. Is that true?
uh, for the moment, we are trying to finish with all the missions we have in English. So
Yeah.
we want to publish Oasis Rendezvous right now. When we are finished with that, I think we will either get more English missions for translations, or we may ask some Russian authors to write new missions for us. Currently, we are talking with some authors, but we aren't starting yet, because I want to finish what should be finished first.
Well, when you get to that point, we would love to translate those into English and publish them over here. So that
Yeah,
would be
that's
fun.
great.
Have the exchange. And Simon Harding in the chat says I thought you might change the icon logo too. I thought you might have left out the wreath and the star. Not
No,
sure why.
we didn't leave anything.
Yeah, no, he was just saying he wondered if you had thought about changing the logo.
Yeah. Why would I? Like, I think
I
the
don't
logo
know.
is really good, and
Thank you.
either. Yeah, but thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, no. I think he was just questioning. He was just asking. I think
thanks to Simon.
Yeah, I think it's a great logo. I designed it. I love it.
Yeah.
Put it on all kinds.
You
of
say
things.
so yourself. No.
If I do say so myself.
No, it is. It is a good logo. It's a very good logo.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
This is very exciting. So, this is currently sold out, right? You've already sold out all the ones you made.
We've made a pretty limited run for boxes, so it's like for the bakers on our pre-order campaign, plus a little more in case something happens. Sometimes the box might break. So we have very limited supply of the boxes and alternative cover books left, because we don't, even if we print more boxes, there is no way to print more books like this.
Right. You can't just, we know all about that. Once you've done your run, that's how many you do. If you want more, you have to do a whole nother big run. You can't just do a few.
Sure.
It's funny because we get anybody watching or listening to this, please pay attention, because we get this question a lot. It's like, hey, can't you do a reprint of this with, like with some of the errata and stuff in it? And it's like, it doesn't, like, we would love to be able to do that. That would be great if that was reality. It's just not, logistically does not work out. If you print one book, it can cost you, I don't know, $40, $50 for one book. But then when you print them in bulk, which then takes a lot of capital, which takes, a couple $1,000 to print,
I wish it was only a couple $1,000.
Whatever it is. I mean, you know what I mean? Like 5, 8, 10,000, whatever it is.
But a small car.
Right. It's not a few bucks.
Yeah.
And then like there's another thing, and like if you have an inventory, you're working against yourself. So it's just not a thing. It's not logistically. We would do another version, and matter of fact, we're talking about another version at some point in the near future. But as for now, it is what it is. And you can't.
You can only do a print run, another print run. You should print 1,000, maybe a couple thousand books.
Yeah. Correct. Because if you try to print just, they do print on demand where you can just get one at a time, but then the cost of the book to print on demand is basically as much as it costs to sell it. You can't make any money off that.
Yeah, we can't make anything.
And you can't really make any alternative covers and stuff like this.
No.
For print on demand,
No, we're not a big Wizards of the Coast kind of thing where we sell 100,000 of something. So Then we'd think about that. We have another question here from the chat. Simon's asking, how many hours was it to translate the text? I don't know about hours, but I know it was a lot of work.
Yeah, it's more like days. I
Years.
guess.
Years.
Yeah, it took a couple months for our translator to finish. Then after he finished, there was first editor. At some point, he dropped out, so we hired
That
another
happens.
editor. Yeah, he finished his job. After this, I reviewed his job and basically made another re-edit. After
Well, you were not
Hmm?
only looking at, translating the words, but you were also looking
Hmm?
at the rules, making sure things made sense.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
had a lot of back and forth where you're asked a couple things where I thought, gee, I wish we could fix that in our book.
Yeah, yeah. So your book's gonna have
Yeah.
some fixes in it that ours doesn't. So,
Yeah, because I was wondering at some point if a rule makes sense. Yeah, yeah, after the translation is over, you should really check everything because maybe at the beginning the translator missed the term. He maybe saw that this regular word and not the game term.
Well, I will obviously
Sometimes,
read
yeah,
the whole thing completely in
yeah,
Russian.
sure.
Я понимаю русский очень хорошо. So
I was
once I'm
gonna
done
say-
reading all of
I was
that,
gonna, Jason, I was gonna say when somebody asked me like, can we get an updated version with some of the fixes and
send
stuff?
them
in it?
this.
I'll just say, yeah, man, just gotta learn Russian. You learn Russian and get it all. There you go, easy peasy.
But I think one of the most infamous mistakes in the book, this is 100% on me, so I can make fun of it. I have a section in the printed book that says there's a rule for how long you can breathe underwater. I meant to say how long you can hold your breath. No, you cannot breathe underwater. So I hope you guys fix that.
Yeah, well, of course. I didn't even ask about this because, yeah, I remember that we fixed a lot of with the weapons, drones, because there were different prices. I
Oh yeah, the
remember,
prices for sure. Yeah.
yeah, I remember something about the health, like health, dying, this stuff. There were some other places, but I just don't remember.
Yeah. Well, we'll see it when we look at it. Warwick
no
is saying that he's, as far as he knows, didn't have that many changes, especially compared to some other projects. So that's good to know.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, only what I discussed with you. So it's not
Yeah.
a lot of. It's basically the same game, just minor updates. Not really big deal. Yeah,
Now,
there were a book. I was translating at some point. There was a book when we needed to just redo entire section because the author he wrote down rules that nobody really understood.
Oh,
So the author explained to me how it should work, and after this, I wrote from the scratch.
yeah. I'm glad that was not us. I'm glad that was not us.
Uh,
So all right. So people have done the pre-orders, and how else are you? Is this going to be for sale in stores or just directly? Through
yeah,
the
sure.
site?
We are working with the main Russian distributor, Hobby World, Hobby Games.
Mhm.
I think you may find some even in the US. I'm not sure, but yeah, I know they work worldwide.
Maybe if I go down to Rockaway Beach in New York, I'll find them in the
Yeah.
Russian stores there.
Maybe. So yeah, I know that they work with Kazakhstan. I know they work with Israel. Maybe some other countries. So yeah, we are partnering with them. There are also some other guys, some other stores like Red Librarian. It's the publisher plus like the shop, and you can find them at basically any Russian-speaking geek convention. Plus, they have their online store. It's like the maybe Noble Night.
Oh,
for the
really?
Russian.
Okay.
Something
Well,
like
so-
this, yes.
so,
They are buying from all the Russian publishers, so you can get all the books from one place.
So if I come to if I go to, was it Hobby? What was the store?
Yeah, the weakest one is Hobby Games, Hobby World, Hobby Games.
Okay, so
They
if I
have,
go to like a Hobby Games in Moscow or something, and I come into the
Yeah.
store, I'll see that on the shelf.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell me, what else would I find in that shop? Will there be a lot? Will it be mostly in Russian? Do they bring things from other countries? What kind of things do you find in a Russian
in Hobby
RPG
World,
shop?
in Hobby World shop, you will find it's 99% Russian
Cool.
translated stuff, because they are translating a lot of tabletop games, not RPGs, even RPGs, but
Yeah.
not their main stuff is just table games.
Is it also
basically-
is Magic the Gathering big?
It was big before a certain situation happened, like a D&D. Yeah, the D&D was and still is the biggest game, even though Wizards currently.
Oh, but they're
don't
not
work with-
having the same like trade deals or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, at some point Wizards just severed ties with all of the translators from different countries.
Oh,
So
okay.
they changed their licensing policy. I'm not really into details. I know they just they are allowed to sell of the books they were left,
Sure.
and they're doing it.
So as a result, has there been a Russian domestic collectible trading card game that has taken up the space that Magic used to have?
There is some Russian collectible card game called Berserker that it's not the copy of Magic Gathering.
I have to stop you right there. Do you know the movie Clerks?
Yeah.
So do you know the Russian guy? Yes, Berserker. I was like, is that why it's called that?
No, it's not.
That would be great. Peter, do you know what we're talking about here?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Best scene in the movie.
So
yeah.
So I have a question about you were talking about going to conventions and stuff like that.
Just let me finish the.
I'm sorry.
Recently, because it's really funny. Recently, some guy, and I don't know who exactly, made the total clone of Magic the Gathering. It's called Magic for Gatherers. It's the same cards, just in Russian, exactly same game terms. From the official Magic the Gathering Russian game terms. He just renamed cards, redone art with AI. So it's like it was like a Miro Battlesphere. It is like Miro Battlesphere, but in Russian, something like this.
Right.
And it's different art, but the rules are the same. And he made a kind of really strange backstory. That there was a guy who lived in Uzbekistan, visited California, MIT, or something like this, and he seen that some guys are playing Magic the Gathering, and he remembered that this is a game he'd seen in his dream. So he wrote down the rules, got the cards, and now you can buy the game.
That's a funny story. I like that backstory.
So it's exactly it is a clone of.
Well, I mean, what is Wizards going to do about it? They can't do anything about it.
They're not going to sue some guy from Uzbekistan who sells stuff in Russia.
No.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize there was still. It's all right. I'll skip over that.
Now, I was going to say, how big is the gaming scene in Russia? Is it pretty prolific, or is it a small? What's the scene like there?
People, I think that with games like Warhammer, there are some people play those games a lot in gaming clubs all across Russia. Role-playing games were not that popular like maybe 10 years ago, but right now they are currently rising up in popularity. There are some big YouTube stars who are doing their version. It's not like the copy, just like their version of some online games.
Yeah, sure.
Like a gaming show, for D&D. So yeah, people play RPGs. Many guys who are not really like geeks, but like in the geek culture, somewhat, they know about D&D and maybe want to play D&D. So
it's interesting to think about, because I'm assuming that during the first heyday of the 1980s, these games were not making it to Russia. That it would have been the first games coming in from other countries would have been around like the late 90s, early 2000s. Is that right?
Early 2000, yeah. Well, I think the first official translation was of the D&D third edition from Hobby World, basically.
Really?
It's still, yeah. They've done Ars Magica, they've done D&D in the 2000s, but it really didn't start off. People were not really interested.
Well,
But
this is
after-
another thing then for the obsessive collectors here to go looking for, to get copies of D&D 3.5 in Russian.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really hard to find. It's really hard. It is
Oh.
possible, but it's 3 books,
Yeah.
It is really hard to find all of 3 of them. And there's also a original Russian RPG called Era Vodalaya in Russian. Let me just
Mhm.
recheck how would you call it in English.
And so does the original Russian RPG, does it have more of a Russian flavor, like the old folklore and different kind of...
So it's like Age of Aquarius, something like this.
Okay.
This game is really wild. First of all, I don't know why it has an anime art style,
Yeah.
and it is basically using the dice pool mechanic of the WVG, how do you call it, WEG, like Star Wars. These games.
Mhm.
It has the same mechanics for the secret department. Secret government department that looks for paranormal, supernatural stuff,
Ooh.
and tries to contaminate it, like a Delta Green.
Like the X-Files.
X-Files, Delta Green, something like this. It is
Yeah.
it could be really dark sometimes. In the adventures, you may encounter end of the world, some really R-rated scenes, sometimes with the cute anime art on the cover.
Of course.
And then, so the game is really wild in terms of contents. It is the first ever published original Russian game. Yeah. This is really fun.
Right now I'm going in my collector brain's going, must guess first edition of Age of Aquarius, must find one. I'm like, I have to have one now. This sounds so fun. All right, so last couple of questions, because we were talking about how people buy this particular game. Do you also sell it as PDF or physical only?
Yeah, sure. We are selling it as PDF. I will upload. I forgot to do it. I will upload it to Drive Through RPG, the translation, very soon.
Okay, we'll point people to that where they can buy that.
Yeah, we'll do it right after we finish the meeting.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Because I really forgot to do this.
Well, we're very excited to get our box sets that we'll be arranging for. We'll bring them with us. If we get them in time, we'll bring them with us to the Philadelphia Area Game Expo to let people see. And if we don't get them in time, then you can see them at TotalCon.
Yeah,
we'll have them there.
I think they will be in America maybe in a month, maybe even less, maybe 3 weeks.
Okay, so we'll probably have them at TotalCon rather than Page. But that'll be fun. People will get a chance to see this in person, and we'll go, stop it, don't touch it, give me that.
Right, get off. Get your dirty hands off my book.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for coming on to be our guest today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
wonderful to have you. And any other things that we want to plug before we wrap up? Anything you've got?
Yeah, I think you got a
YouTube channel,
right? YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. It's called On Die's Edge, but in Russian, the signature is On Die's Edge in English. Some of the videos maybe will have the English auto-translated lyrics. I have a little blog. Basically, how I started publishing. First of all, I've got a YouTube channel because I wanted to tell people that there are other games different from D&D. There is a lot of very special, unique stuff, and you should try it. And from there, after a couple of years, I thought maybe I can bring those games to the people. Not just talk about them. Maybe I can print and.
Yeah.
So you can check out all the contents. I try to make videos about maybe something like forgotten settings for D&D, or something like the games with really bad layout, design, artwork. Like the old White Wolf stuff. But there are some really awful stuff in there. So something nothing about the builds or like this. More about here are some really fun, cool games that you can check out.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Great.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up at an unusual hour this week. And next week we'll be back at our usual 8 p.m. slot.
Right.
So I guess that is it for this week of Tabletop Weekly. Please like and subscribe and leave a review and all those kind of things that you can do to help us out. And we will see you in a week.
All right.
Yeah.